Good day. I'm Real Deloso, your speaker for today. I'm here today to discuss about our assigned topic, which is the simple interest. So what is simple interest, you might ask? Any idea? Well, let us first know where it came from. The official discovery of interest was found in the 16th century by Jacob Bernoulli. He introduced a constant represented by E for the interest. He gave a formula limit and approaches infinity, seen as the sum of 1 plus the quotient of 1 over n to the power of n is equal to E, where n represents the number of times the interest is compounded in a year. So now let us know the real definition of simple interest. So, simple interest is an application of percentage. It is a quick and easy method of calculating the interest charged on a loan. Simple interest is interest calculated on the principal portion of a loan or the original contribution to a savings account. Simple interest does not compound, meaning that an account holder will only gain interest on the principal and a borrower will never have to pay interest on interest already accrued. This type of interest usually applies to automobile loans or short-term loans, although some mortgages use this calculation method. Understanding the concept of simple interest is not only important for you to know how to solve problems in class, but also is a fundamental skill to help you manage your finances. Simple interest is relevant to saving, borrowing, and investing, though it's typically most fruitful when borrowing because it means your debt won't pile on over time. Simple interest also helps you manage your finances. You get empowered to make good financial decisions as well. Now it's time to give you some key takeaways. Here are the key takeaways. Simple interest is calculated by multiplying the daily interest rate by the principal by the number of days that elapse between payments. Simple interest benefits consumers who pay their loans on time or early each month. Auto loans and short-term personal loans are usually simple interest loans. Interest is the cost of borrowing money, typically expressed as a percentage. It amounts to a fee or extra charge the borrower pays the lender for the financed sum. Now, here are some things that we need to remember. So, we have here, lender. A lender is an individual, a public or private group, or a financial institution that makes funds available to a person or business with the expectation that the funds will be repaid. Now, next we have the borrower. An individual or entity that is using money, assets, or services on credit. The concept most commonly applies to the lending of funds where a borrower applies for a loan and there is a credit evaluation by the lender. Next, we have the loan date. Means any date on which a loan is made to the borrowers by the lender pursuant to this agreement. Then we have maturity date. The maturity date is the date on which the principal amount of a note, draft, acceptance bond, or other debt instrument becomes due. Next, time. This is the period at which money is borrowed or deposited. Time is normally expressed in months or years. It is denoted by the letter T. Principal or present value. Present value is the current value of a future sum of money or stream of cash flows given a specified return rate or rate of return. The present value is denoted by a capital letter P. Next, we have rate of interest, or in short, rate. The rate of interest is the amount a lender charges a borrower and is a percentage of the present value, or the amount loaned. Next, we have here interest. The extra amount you earn after depositing or the extra amount you pay when settling a loan. Interest is normally represented by a letter I because it's calculated as a rate or percentage. Future value or maturity value. The amount due and payable to the holder of a financial obligation as of the maturity date of the obligation. The term usually refers to the remaining principal balance on a loan or bond. In the case of a security, maturity value is the same as par value. Moving on, let's proceed to the formulas that we need for us to be able to solve for the following examples later. So first, we have here for finding the simple interest, IS is equal to P times R times T, or the simple interest is equal to the product of the principal, rate, and time. Next, for finding the future value, there are actually three formulas. You can use whichever one suits your needs. So first we have here, future value, or F, is equal to P plus IS, or future value is equal to principal plus simple interest. Then the second one we have here, future value is equal to principal plus the product of principal times rate times time. This, as you can see, is the formula for finding the simple interest. And the last but not the least, we have here future value is equal to principal times the sum of 1 plus the product of rate times time. Or F is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Don't forget the parenthesis. Next, we have here the formula for finding the principal. There are actually two. We have here the first one. P is equal to IS over RT, or principal is equal to simple interest divided by the product of rate and time. So that's the first formula. Or we have here the second one. Principal is equal to future value minus simple interest, or P is equal to F minus IS. Next, for finding the time, a simple formula. T is equal to IS over PR, or time is equal to simple interest divided by the product of principal and rate. Now for finding the rate of interest, we have here R is equal to IS over P times T, or rate is equal to simple interest divided by the product of principal and time. So remember that IS represents simple interest, P represents principal, R represents rate of interest, T represents time, and F represents future value. And here's the conversion of month to years formula. So number of months divided by 12. So for example, let's say 24 months. So put 24 there. 24 divided by 12 is 2. So 24 months is equal to 2 years. Now, let us move on to the examples. So as you can see here, the one highlighted in yellow are actually the values that we are trying to solve for. So in order for us to get the missing numbers in the table, we need to solve it first, of course. So we have here the given for the first number, the principal or P of 50,000, a rate of 5%, or when divided by 100 becomes 0.05. Do not put percentage sign there anymore because it will be causing some problems if you still put the percent sign. So that's the point. You convert it so that you don't have to use the percentage sign. And the given time of 2 years, or T, is 2. So now let's solve. So for this particular example, we are actually trying to solve for both the simple interest and also the future value. First, let's solve for the simple interest. So the formula for simple interest again is principal times rate times time. So we have here P times R times T. All you have to do is substitute the values with, or substitute this with a given. So we have here the principal, 50,000, times the rate of 0.05 and the time of 2. So once you plot that in and calculate it, you'll get an answer of 5,000. Don't forget to put the monetary symbol here. For this one, we're using the peso symbol. But if it's dollar or euro or yen or whatever symbol, you need to put the corresponding one, or else it won't be correct, because I can't put a dollar sign here if it's the original one was peso, because that will be wrong. So keep that in mind and be careful when you try to solve that, and make sure that you're using the proper symbol or sign. Now, after the simple interest, let's have the future value. So we have here principal plus simple interest is the formula for finding the future value. Now all you have to do is substitute it. So for the principal, we have here 50,000 plus the simple interest, we have here 5,000. So once you add 50,000 and 5,000, you get an answer of 55,000. So again, don't forget the peso symbol. So that is for finding the future value. Now enough of example number 1. Let's head on to example number 2. We have here the following given. The given P or principal is 4,000. The given R or rate is 4.5% or 0.045 when divided by 100. And the given time is 3 or 3 years. So for this particular example, we are trying to get the simple interest. So the formula, again, simple interest is equal to principal times rate times time. Then substitute it. The principal of 4,000 times the rate of 0.045 and the time of 3. Once you calculate that, you'll get an answer of 540. So that is the correct answer and the final answer for example number 2. Now let's head on to examples 3 and 4. So for example number 3, we have here the following given. A given R or rate of 5% or 0.05 once divided by 100. a time of 9/12 of a year, or 0.75, or 9 months, whatever value is there. But just I prefer to use this kind of style where it's 0.75 of a year, so I'll be using that. Or you can also put in the fraction, but I suggest using this one. And we have here the given simple interest of 11 pesos and 25 cents. So in this one, we're actually trying to solve for the principal. So the formula for the principal is equal to simple interest divided by the product of rate and time. So we have here, substituted, the simple interest of 11.25 divided by the product of 0.05, which is the rate, and 0.75, which is the time. Once you plot that in your calculator, and you can hit the equal sign, then you will get an answer of 300. Don't forget the peso sign. Again, don't forget the monetary symbol. And next, let's head on to example number 4. We have here the following given. The given R, or rate, is 7%, or when divided by 100 is equal to 0.07. The given time of 2 years, or 2, and the given simple interest of 11,200 pesos. Now for this one, we are trying to solve for the principal and the future value. So first, let's solve for the principal. So for the principal, we have here the following formula. Principal is equal to simple interest divided by the product of rate and time. So substituted, simple interest of 11,200 divided by the rate of 0.07 times the time of 2. Plot that in there, and once you calculate it, you'll get an answer of 80,000. So that is the principal for this specific example. Now heading on to the future value, it's quite simple, just add it. So for the future value, we have here principal plus simple interest, and then substitute it with the following. So we have here the future value is equal to the principal of 80,000 plus the simple interest of 11,200. We have here the future value is equal to 91,200 pesos. So it's literally as simple as that. All you have to do is add the two values, and then you get the future value. Now let's head on to example number 5 and 6. So we have here the given P, or principal, is 2,000 pesos. Given T, or time, is 3 years, or 3. And the given IS, or simple interest, is equal to 204 pesos. So for this one, we will try to find for both the rate and the future value. For the rate, we have here the following formula. Rate is equal to simple interest divided by the principal times time, or the product of the principal and time. And substituted, simple interest of 204 divided by the principal of 2,000 pesos and the time of 3. So, by the way, if you think I'm going too fast, you can pause the video so that you can solve all these examples in your own pace. So, let's head on back to example number 5. So we have here, once you calculate that, you'll actually get a result of 0.034. But it's preferable if we have it in this manner where it's a percentage. So to do this, all you have to do is multiply the value that you got by 100. So 0.034 times 100, and you will get a number of 3.4. Now, once you do that, don't forget to add the percentage sign. So once you calculate that or have this already, that's your final answer for the rate, of course. Now, after the rate, let's try to find for the future value of the specific example. So we have here F is equal to P plus IS, or F is equal to, or future value is equal to the principal plus simple interest. Again, just substitute it. So we have here the principal of 2,000 plus simple interest of 204. So simple addition, I'm pretty sure a first grader could do this, so I'm confident that you can. So 2,000 plus 204 is equal to 2,204. Don't forget the peso sign, of course. Now let's head on to example number 6. We have here the following given. Given P, or principal, is 25,000 pesos. Given time is 6 months, or 6/12 of a year, or 0.5 of a year. And the given IS, or simple interest, is equal to 1,200 pesos. So we have here the solutions, or how we will solve this. So we have here the rate is equal to simple interest over the product of principal and time. So we have here rate is equal to the simple interest of 1,200 divided by the principal of 25,000 times the time of 0.5. So once you solve that, it will be similar to example number 5, where it's going to be in this format. So the answer will be 0.096. So to do that, once again, multiply that by 100 and add the percentage sign, and you'll get an answer of 9.6%. Next, we have here, to solve the future value for the specific number, all you have to do is add it once again. So this is one of the easiest and most simple formulas for this specific topic. So we have here, future value is equal to principal plus simple interest. So future value is equal to the principal of 25,000 plus a simple interest of 1,200. So we have here, the future value would equal to 26,200. So that is the final answer. Now for the last two examples, we have here example number 7. We have here the given P, or principal, is 15,000. Given R is 2.5%, or 0.025 once converted, and the given simple interest is equal to 1,500 pesos. So those are our following given for number 7. And in this specific example, we are trying to solve for both the time and the future value. Now for solving the time, it's actually quite simple. So the formula for that, once again, is time is equal to simple interest divided by the product of principal and rate. So substitute it with the correct values from the given. Simple interest of 1,500 divided by the principal of 15,000 times the rate of 2.5%, or 0.025. So once you solve that, you get an answer of 4. Don't forget to put the proper one here. This one is 4 years. So don't forget to put the years. Then that's how you solve for the time for the specific example. Now let's head on to the future value for this example. We have here, future value is equal to the sum of principal and simple interest. So we have here, we need to substitute it with the correct values. So we have here, future value is equal to principal of 15,000 pesos plus the simple interest of 1,500. Next, we'll just simply add this. So 1,500 plus 15,000, we will get an answer of 16,500. Don't forget the peso sign. It's really quite simple. Now, for the last example before moving on to the word problems, we have here number 8, or question number 8. We have here the following given. Given P, or principal, is 4,000 pesos. Given R, or rate, is 4.5%, or once divided by 100, you get 0.045. And the given IS, or simple interest, we have here 540 pesos. So trying to solve for time, we are gonna use this formula, which is simple interest divided by the product of principal and rate. So we have here time is equal to the simple interest of 540 divided by the principal 4,000 times the rate of 0.045. So once you solve that, you'll get an answer of 3. So the answer for this is 3 years. So now, let us solve word problems involving simple interest. So I hope you're following along, and I hope that you have at least a calculator to help you solve this. So once again, if you think this is going too fast, you can simply pause it and you can do it in your own pace, essentially. So first, let's have problems involving the finding of the principal. So we have here question or problem number 1. An amount invested at an annual interest rate of 4% earns 600 pesos simple interest in 3 years. How much money was originally invested? So analyze it properly so that you can extract the given. So we have here the rate, or R, 4% divided by 100 will give us 0.04, the time of 3 years, and the simple interest of 600. Once again, we're trying to find for the principal, so the solution that we will, or the formula rather, that we will use is principal is equal to simple interest divided by the product of rate and time. Once again, substitute it with the correct values. We have here simple interest 600 divided by the rate of 0.04 and the time of 3. So once you do that and solve it and calculate it, you'll get an answer of 5,000. So the original money invested, or the principal, is 5,000 pesos. Don't forget that. So now let's head on to problem number 2, or question number 2. An investment earned 500 pesos interest after 5 years. The rate was 5%. What was the principal? So this is a pretty straightforward question. So extract it. The rate is 5%, or 0.05 once divided by 100. The given T, or time, is 5 years, and the given IS, or simple interest, is 500. To solve this, we'll use this formula. Principal is equal to simple interest divided by the product of rate and time. So we have here, substitute it. Simple interest of 500 divided by the rate of 0.05 and the time of 5. Once you plot that in, you will get a value of 2,000. So the final answer for this specific example or question is 2,000 pesos. So that's the principal. Heading on to question or problem number 3. How much money would Kimberly have initially borrowed if she accumulated 713 pesos in simple interest after 30 months at a rate of 6.2%? So extract the given. So we have here a rate of 6.2%, or when divided by 100 would equal to 0.062. A time of 30 months, or when converted to years, is equal to 2.5 years. And the given simple interest, or IS, of 713 pesos. Now let's solve. Once again, the formula for this, principal is equal to simple interest divided by the product of rate and time. We have here, principal is equal to the simple interest of 713 divided by the rate, which is 6.2%, or 0.062, times the time, which is 2.5 years. So once you put that in and plot that, you will get a answer of 4,600. So that's the final answer once done calculating. So now let us solve word problems for finding the rate. So we have here problem or question number 1. 3,000 pesos was invested for 3 years. It earned 400 pesos in interest. What was the rate? So we have here the following given: the principal of 3,000 pesos, the given time of 3 years, or 3, and the given simple interest of 400. So now let us solve. For this specific one, this is the formula that we will use. So for rate, so rate is equal to simple interest divided by the product of principal and time. Once again, like all the other problems and questions that we solved previously, all you have to do is substitute this. We have here the simple interest of 400 divided by the principal of 3,000 times the time of 3. So once you solve that and calculate it, you will get an answer. Most likely you'll get an answer of 0.0444 infinity, or so on. So remember, what we're trying to get is the percentage. So to convert that, multiply this by 100 and you'll get an answer of 4.44. Then don't forget to put the percentage sign. So the final answer for this one is 4.44%. So that is the rate of this specific problem. Let's head on to problem number 2. Richard deposited 5,400 pesos and got back an amount of 600 pesos after 2 years. Find Richard's interest rate. Analyze it and get the rate. Not the rate rather, but the given. So we have here the following given: a principal of 5,400 pesos and given time of 2 years, and the given simple interest of 600. So we have here the following solution. So we have here the formula: rate is equal to simple interest divided by the product of the principal and time. So we have here, substitute it with the following given: rate is equal to simple interest of 600 divided by the principal of 5,400 times the time of 2. So we have here rate is equal to 0.055555 and infinity and so on. So that is the one that you will get once you calculate this. But remember, we're trying to get the percentage. So multiply that by 100 and you will get an answer of 5.555 or 5.56 if you round it off to the second decimal place. So that's the final answer for this specific problem. Now let's head on to problem or question number 3. So Nicole earned 800 pesos in interest. She originally deposited 10,000 pesos in the account and left it there for 5 years. What was the simple interest rate? So we have here the following given: principal of 10,000 pesos, the given time of 5 years or 5, and the given simple interest of 800. So we have here the following solution for the specific problem. So this is the formula. Rate is equal to simple interest divided by the product of principal and time. Substitute it like all the other examples before. Simple interest of 800 divided by the principal of 10,000 times the time of 5, and you will get an answer of 0.016. Remember to convert it to the percentage. So multiply that by 100, you'll get 1.6 and add the percent sign. So the simple interest rate for this specific problem is 1.6%. So now, let us go to the word problems for finding the time. So here, problem or question number 1. Iris earned 600 pesos in interest. She originally deposited 2,000 pesos in the account, and the account earned 3% simple interest. How many years did she leave the money in her account? So we have here the following given: principal of 2,000, following rate or given rate of 3% or 0.03 once divided by 100, and the given simple interest of 600 pesos as seen here in the word problem. So now let's solve for time. Once again, the formula for time is simple interest divided by the product of principal and rate. Substitute it once again. So here, the simple interest of 600 divided by 2,000, which is the principal, times the rate of 0.03. And once you calculate that and plot that in there and solve it, you'll get an answer of 10. So notice that this is asking for how many years, so you need to put in as well. So the time is 10 years. So Iris left the money in her account for 10 years for it to earn this much interest. So for problem number 2, Ryan loaned 15,000 pesos with a 10% interest rate from a bank. He promised to pay it back. He eventually paid the money with 9,000 pesos simple interest. How many years did this take? So after analyzing, we can extract the given here. Principal of 15,000, a rate of 10% or divided by 100 becomes 0.1, and the given simple interest is 9,000 pesos. Now let's solve for the time. Once again, this is the correct formula for getting the time. So the simple interest, 9,000 divided by the product of the principal and rate, which is 15,000 times 0.1. So once you calculate that and solve it, you'll get an answer of 6. So it asks for how many years did this take. So it took Ryan 6 years to pay the loan back. Now let's head on to question number 3. How long in years will it take for 26,500 pesos to amount to 30,000 pesos with a simple interest of 3,500 and a rate of 10.50%? So we have here the following given. The given P or principal is 26,500. The given R or rate is 10.50%, or when divided by 100 will become 0.105. And the given simple interest of 3,500 pesos. So now let's solve. So we have here time is equal to simple interest divided by the product of the principal and rate. Substitute it. So simple interest of 3,500 divided by the principal of 26,500 times 0.105, which is the rate. So once you calculate that, you will get an answer of 1.26, and it asks for the years. So the final answer is 1.26 years. Moving forward, we'll now proceed to solving simple interest word problems. So we have here problem or question number 1. A total of 1,200 pesos is invested at a simple interest rate of 6% for 4 months. How much interest is earned on this investment? So we have here the given. So principal of 1,200 pesos as seen here, a rate of 6% or 0.06 as seen here, and the time of 4 months, or when converted, 4 divided by 12 is approximately equal to 0.33 of a year. So now let's solve. Once again, this is a very easy formula. I'm pretty sure you've memorized it by now since I've been talking about it for quite some time. So we have here, simple interest is equal to principal times rate times time. Then all you have to do is substitute it once again. So simple interest is equal to the principal of 1,200 times rate of 0.06 or 6% times the time of 0.33 or 4 over 12, whatever you prefer. But once again, I suggest this one. So once you solve that and calculate it, you'll actually get an answer of 24. So that is the final answer or correct answer for problem or question number 1. Now for question number 2, we have here. Dane deposits 4,000 pesos at a bank at an interest rate of 4.5% per year. How much interest will she earn at the end of 3 years? We have here the given. Principal of 4,000 pesos, the given rate of 4.5% or 0.045, and the given time of 3 years. So now let's solve. The solution, once again, simple interest is equal to the product of principal, rate, and time. So substitute it with the correct values from the given. So we have here the principal, which is 4,000 times the rate of 0.045 times the time of 3. Once you plot that in there and calculate it and solve it, you will get an answer of 540. So that's the correct answer for example number 2. Don't forget the peso sign once again. Now let's head on to problem number 3. So Wanda borrowed 3,000 pesos from a bank at an interest rate of 12% per year for a 2-year period. How much interest does she have to pay the bank at the end of the 2 years? So we have here the given. Principal of 3,000 pesos, rate of 12%, or when divided by 100 would equal to 0.12 or 0.12, and the given time or t is 2 years. So now let's solve. Once again, very easy formula. I don't think I have to reiterate this once again. So simple interest is equal to the principal of 3,000 times the rate of 0.12 times the time of 2. Once you plot that in there and calculate it, you will get an answer of 720. Don't forget the peso sign once again. Now, let's solve problems for finding the future value. We have here problem or question number 1. If Drew deposits 7,500 pesos at 7%, what is the future value of the deposit at the end of 3 years? We have here the following given extracted from the word problem. The principal of 7,500 pesos, a given rate or R of 7%, or when divided by 100 would equal to 0.07, and the given time of 3 years. Now let's solve it. As you can see that I'm using a different formula. If you still remember when we were solving the problems that did not involve word problems, I used the formula where I just added the principal and the interest or the simple interest. But this one, we will use a different method, but still correct. If you can remember, I gave 3 formulas that you can use for finding the future value. So for this one, I'll just choose to use this formula. So we have here, the future value is equal to principal times the sum of 1 plus the product of rate and time. So substitute it with the corresponding given. So we have here the principal of 7,500 times 1 plus the rate of 0.07 times the time of 3. So once you solve that, you'll get an answer of 9,075. Don't forget the monetary value, or monetary symbol rather. So we have here, the final answer is 9,075 pesos. Next, we have here problem or question number 2. Rudy invested earnings of 11,000 pesos in a savings account for college. How much will this amount to in 2 years if the account pays 1.5% interest? We have here the given principal of 11,000 pesos, the given rate of 1.5%, or when divided by 100 would equal to 0.015, and the given time of 2 years. So once again, we'll just follow this formula. So future value is equal to the principal, which is 11,000, times 1 plus the rate of 0.015 times the time of 2. So once you solve that and calculate that, you'll actually get an answer of 11,330, assuming you followed the correct formula. So again, don't forget the peso sign. Next, we have here problem number 3, or question number 3. So what is the future value of the deposit at the end of 4 years if Madeline deposited 15,250 pesos with a 6% rate? So we have here the extracted given of 15,250 for the principal, or the P, a given rate, or R, of 6%, or 0.06 once divided by 100, and the given time of 4 years, or 4, here as you can see in the word problem. So now let us solve. Here, future value is equal to principal times the sum of 1 plus the product of R and T, or rate and time. So substitute it. Future value is equal to the principal, which is 15,250, multiplied by the sum of 1 plus the rate, 0.06, times the time, which is 4. So remember to calculate it like this. Don't forget the parenthesis, so that you will have the correct answer. So once you do that and calculate it and solve it, you will get an answer of 18,910. Don't forget the peso sign. So the future value of the deposit is 18,910 pesos. So that's it for this lesson about simple interest. I hope you learned something through our video. And once again, I'm Real Deloso. Thank you, and may you have a blessed day.